Simulate 5-1, turn right, heading 180. Order 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
Hey everyone, welcome back to DJ's Aviation and the second installment to the daily update video on the events which unfolded at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow. If you haven't seen the first episode, which recapped day one, I'd highly recommend you see that. Today's video, of course, will focus solely on the new orders, letters of intents, and commitments, which took place during day 2 of the Farnborough Airshow. I've covered a few of these orders in separate videos, and those will be placed at the end of this video. However, those orders that I haven't covered will be placed at the beginning. In turn, this will allow you to exit off the video if you've already seen the other content, but if you haven't, it's all in the one place, therefore making it really accessible to you. We begin just like the first episode in alphabetical order with Airbus. Today was another successful day for Airbus, with many new orders coming their way. The first order of the day came from an undisclosed customer for the Airbus A350. This customer, which wasn't named, ordered 8 of the A350-900s. With a list price of $317.9 million US, this deal is worth quite a bit to Airbus. While the airline hasn't been revealed, some talk is that it may be Air New Zealand. However, this hasn't been confirmed by any reliable sources as of yet, and is just speculation. The next order came from Peach. Well, to be honest, it wasn't an order, rather a straight swap. Peach Aviation today agreed to become the first A321 long-range, or LR, operator within Asia. Peach Aviation converted their order for 2 of the standard A320neos to the A321 LR, hence why it isn't really a new order. The aircraft will be joining the fleet of Peach Aviation in 2020. With the added range on the A321 LR, the aircraft will in fact offer Peach the opportunity of launching a number of new services. Airbus next received a small order from Level for 2 Airbus A330-200s. The international airlines group low-cost carrier Level chose to take two A330s, which in turn will bring their total to 7. The new expansion comes just 12 months after the airline purchased its latest A330-200s. At this point in time, Level operate these A330s out of Paris, Orly, and Barcelona. A second A330-200, Airbus notes, will join the first A330 in Paris later in the summer of 2018. The last order of the show came from what we believe was Moxie Airways, the new US startup airline being put together by the JetBlue founder. The order is for 60 Airbus A220-300s, but the order is listed on the Airbus website instead of being undisclosed, rather a US airline startup. The deliveries will begin in 2021, which ties in with the Moxie Airways plan. At this stage, the startup airline signed an MOU at the airshow. After some reading through, Airbus did in fact note that the main investor was David Neeleman, who of course is the founder of JetBlue, all but confirming that these aircraft are for Moxie Airways, and we will in fact see them start. With more orders rumoured for future days of the Farnborough Airshow, it's an exciting time for Airbus. We now move on to Boeing, who also had a very busy day at the airshow, accumulating a number of high-profile orders. I've covered the majority of orders on the Boeing side of things, which will come at the end of this video. The order which I haven't covered has come from GE Capital Aviation Services, or GECAS. The order is worth $1.5 billion for the aircraft and the conversion prices, as they have opted for 35 additional Boeing 737-800 BCF converted freighters. These aircraft will be delivered between 2019 and 2023. With this new order, it further highlights, as I've been mentioning throughout this airshow, the grip that Boeing have on the cargo industry. And just as I finish up the recording of this, Boeing just announced that Vistara are joining the Boeing 787 family with an agreement to order up to 10 of the Boeing 787-9s. This in turn means Vistara will become the first airline within India to operate the Dash 9. As we know, Air India already operate the 787-8s. While Airbus and Boeing were winners today, you could certainly argue that Embraer came away with a fantastic day and probably even better than Airbus and Boeing. After holding a press conference, a huge number of orders were announced. This video is already going to be pretty long, so I'll only mention the large orders for Embraer aircraft that occurred. Nordic Aviation Capital inked a letter of intent for 3 E190s. Watania Airways of Kuwait completed their second order for the airshow with a firm order for 10 of the Embraer E195 E2s with purchase rights for 10 more. Helvetic Airways of Zurich signed a letter of intent for 12 Embraer E190 E2s with the purchase rights for 12 more of the type if they wish as well. These deliveries will commence in late 2019. Azul also placed a letter of intent for 21 of the E195 E2s. It's also worth noting the biggest order that Embraer received was from Republic Airlines, who placed a firm order for 100 Embraer E175s, with options for 100 more if they do wish to activate it. Republic Airlines already have a very large fleet of E175s and E170s. So that's going to conclude all the unseen orders that didn't get their own separate video on the channel. If you have watched all my other videos from today, I'd like to thank you very much for watching this episode, as you're more than welcome to click off now. Otherwise, feel free to stay tuned to see all other orders that were more noteworthy. I also want to mention that if there's been any mistakes in this video, I do apologise for that. However, this is being recorded at around 2 a.m, so of course I'm pretty tired as it is, and mistakes may slip through in the video. From day one, both Airbus and Boeing have been receiving orders. On the Airbus side of things, the A320neo has in fact stood out, with a large number of orders being placed. We've kicked the day off with an immediate order for 100 A320neo family aircraft. And again, this is from an undisclosed customer. It's become quite the occurrence over the course of the airshow so far to not disclose airline names or leasing company names. In turn, this does make it quite difficult for me and so many others to try and determine who it was. The new customer penned an MOU for 25 A321neo aircraft and 75 A320neo aircraft. The agreement for 100 additional A320neo family aircraft also adds to its existing order for the type. This is what Airbus stated in their official statement, which can in fact be found on their website. At list prices, the A320neo is worth $110.6 million US, while the A321neo at list price is worth $129.5 million US. This means the order for 75 A320neos is worth just over $8.2 billion, while the A321neo order is worth $3.2 billion, and that's all in US. As mentioned, the A320neo has certainly been a hit among airlines during this year's Farnborough Airshow, with Salem Air signing a deal for 6 A320neos, Macquarie signing a deal for 20, an undisclosed customer ordering 80, Goshawk Aviation ordering 20, Watania Airways ordering 25, and Vistra ordering 50, and that is all on day one. With this MOU being undisclosed, as mentioned, it'll be interesting to see which carrier or leasing company did in fact place the order. Feel free to drop your guesses in the comment section below. Yesterday alone, we saw over $45 billion US splashed on new aircraft for mostly Airbus and Boeing aircraft. And the first order for day 2 certainly isn't an exception. The order comes from Volga-Dnepr and Cargologic Holding, and as you can tell from the rather tricky pronunciation of the first carrier, they are yet to appear on the channel, also along with Cargologic Holding, so I would like to extend a warm welcome to the two of them. In the past hour, it was announced by Boeing themselves that the Russian-based airline, which specialises in providing air charter services, with quite an odd yet fantastic fleet of IL-76TDs, AN-124s and 7478Fs, did in fact place a brand new freighter package, with one inclusion that I am over the moon about. The freighter package placed includes 5 firm orders for the Boeing 747-8 freighter, valued at $2 billion US, and a commitment for 29 Boeing 777 freighters, valued at $9.8 billion US. Over the first day of the Farnborough Airshow, while the A320neo and the 737 MAX were certainly the two standout aircraft, the Boeing 777 freighter was also shown quite a bit of love, with both DHL and Qatar either ordering the aircraft or firming their order for that aircraft. The president of Volga-Dnepr and the chairman of Cargo Logic Holdings said, "This is a very significant day in our company's history. With this package of agreements, we will grow our business with the unique and unmatched 7478 freighter and open new market opportunities with the Boeing 777 freighter, the world's longest range twin-engine cargo jet." Adding, "And we will work with Boeing to develop new freighter solutions that will help us continue to serve the unique and fast-changing requirements of our global customers." The Russian-based cargo carrier also intends to discuss further with Boeing the potential of adding new orders of converted 767 freighters, which are increasingly becoming more popular. Other options include adding converted 737 freighters to their fleet. These discussions were included in the package of agreements, meaning that these discussions will take place. They further said, "We are true believers in the 747-8 freighter. It is a very special airplane. We fly it every day and we understand why operators around the world want more of them." The new 747-8F order further boosts the program and is exciting, as it means the aircraft will continue to fly that little bit longer. It's worth noting that the current 747-8Fs and also the 747-400Fs that are flying with the Russian cargo airline are being operated by Airbridge Cargo or ABC, and hence sport that particular livery. What do you make of this new order? Personally, whenever I see a new 747-8F order, I am instantly pleased, as it's fantastic to see, while not passenger airlines, more airlines within the freight industry are putting their faith in that aircraft. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. In what has been a busy few hours at the 2018 Farnborough Airshow, Air Lease just signed for a whopping 75 Boeing 737 MAX 8s and 3 Boeing 787-9s. The deal disclosed at the Farnborough Airshow will have commitments for 55 of the MAX 8s and 3 787-9s, while Air Lease firmed an order for 20 of the 737 MAX 8s. That's where we get the total order count of 75 from. The deal at list price is valued at $9.6 billion US. However, this is excluding any potential discounts that were placed on the new commitments and orders. The chief executive of Air Lease commented on the new order, stating the following: "Demand for reliable, fuel-efficient airplanes is at an all-time high." Adding, "The capabilities of these new airplanes continue to meet the high expectations of our growing airline customer base." This announcement by Air Lease means their total orders and commitments since it was founded 8 years ago in 2010 is excessive to say the least. Their order list is as follows. There is now a whopping 288 Boeing 737s on order, and it's worth mentioning that this is made up of 213 MAXs, 52 Boeing 787s, and finally they have 21 777s. That means in total, Air Lease have 361 Boeing aircraft.